Hello Motor Rider World fans, and welcome to Paddock Talk from Saturday MotoGP in the beautiful Assen, the cathedral of speed. And luckily great weather today. Really was great weather. It was hot, nice little bit of a breeze going around. It did get cloudy just before MotoGP qualifying was started during FP4, and kind of thought, oh no, this is gonna maybe spoil the party for many riders. But it stayed away, and right at the end of Q2, a little bit of drizzle came, but it was for about 2 minutes, and then it kind of just washed over. So an absolute beautiful day at the Cathedral of Speed. Some notes that I've made from watching at the side of the track, being in the paddock. The first thing that I noticed was, and I'm sure you all noticed as well, a little bit frustrating from a fan point of view, looking on the outside and the inside, just some of the team strategies that were in FP3. Now, FP3 is your final chance, or the rider's final chance to make it into Q1. And you've really got to get your strategy right, especially with the yellow flag story, which I'll talk about just now. But speaking more specifically with Brad and Darren, I was trackside with Trevor Binder, father to Brad and Darren, and we were watching the sectors and really just obviously keeping a keen eye on Brad and Darren and what their strategies were in that. And it was a little bit frustrating because it just didn't seem like the strategies were really good ones. Didn't seem like they made the best of the track time that they had. Didn't seem like they came out on track in good positions. They didn't seem to have good track position following riders. They looked, most of the time they were being followed. Darren, especially in his current situation with not having a lot of experience around Assen and FP1 being wet, he really needs to get behind and learn and follow the likes of Frankie Morbidelli, Quartararo, or Dovi, the more experienced riders at a track like this. Speaking to Brad coming into it, he said this is going to be one of the hardest tracks for Darren to learn on the calendar. It's all about speed. It's about being direct. It's a lot on a MotoGP bike. It's very, very hard. It looks like one of the easier tracks. It's actually one of the hardest. And the strategies just seemed weird. It just seemed like Brad and Darren both came out at weird times, and then they were getting caught out with yellow flags, and then they weren't made. It was a weird, frustrating strategy there, and I think they got caught out. Both of them got caught out. Both of them didn't make it into Q1. Both went into Q2. It worked out for Brad in the end, who made it through Q2 into Q1. But certainly the strategy was a bit frustrating on how that all worked out. So, I don't know if that's something that Brad and Daz need to work on, or the teams or something, but it certainly was frustrating from a fanboy point of view that the strategy was a little bit irritating. Brad and Darren did get caught out by yellow flags right where we were watching. Anea Bastianini had a big crash in that fast. You come through that flat out right hand off the back straight into that fast left. Bastianini went down there. Then I think it was one of the Pramac bikes, Zarco Martin, that went down there. So a lot of riders getting caught out with the yellow flags. Let's talk about the yellow flag situation as well. One thing that I've really been disappointed with at Assen was the marshals and this yellow flag story. So a yellow flag comes out, which means everyone has to suffer. You can't go fast in that sector. You basically cancel your lap. It's cancelled. You're not going to set a fast lap. You cannot set a fast lap time while a yellow flag is on track. Okay. So yesterday on the Friday, Bezzecchi goes down in the tight left-hand hip and he crashes. He then picks it up on the side of the track, spends what felt like an hour trying to bump start his bike with one marshal helping him, trying to bump start. While he's trying to do this, the yellow flag's staying out and the riders are all coming through and wasting laps. To me, that's wrong. To me, Dorna need to rethink this whole situation and go, right, if you crash, it needs to be like a British Superbike rule. In British Superbikes, if you crash, you're not allowed rejoining. You crashed. That's the end of it. Gives the marshals can rush off. They don't have to worry about getting the rider back on his bike and going again. You crash, you pick up. The marshal's job is to clear the situation as quickly as possible, to get the yellow flag back in so that racing can continue and the riders can continue with their fast laps. And this, it's like Bezzecchi and the riders kind of know, well, I've crashed, which means I've ruined my qualifying. Well, let me ruin everyone else's by taking my time trying to bump start my bike. That needs to be changed to me, because in that situation, if you take longer than 10 seconds, for instance, let's just say, long lap penalty for me. Long lap penalty. You are disrupting other riders' track time by keeping that yellow flag out. Anyway, the Bezzecchi couldn't bump it. Then they stop. He climbs off the bike, has a look around the bike while he's still parked on the side of the track while the yellow flags are still out. You are deliberately interrupting track time. The marshals should be told, and apparently they are told, you get the bike. Apparently it's a rule that just doesn't seem to be enforced. When a rider has crashed, you get his bike to the service road as quickly and safely as possible. From there, the rider can remount and get his bike started. I've never seen that happen. Yesterday, Big Zeki did everything but that. And this yellow flag was just out for about 30, 40 seconds, probably over a minute. And that is wasted time to the other riders. Tire, strategy, fuel, everything. So that yellow flag rule needs to change, because it really is becoming a sour point, if you know what I mean. And the riders are taking advantage of it. I'm not saying Bezeki deliberately did that, but think of a rider, if you've just put it on pole, if Bezeki had just put in a pole position lap and he crashes, he then has the power in his hand to go, okay, well, I can keep myself in pole position here by just slowly picking the bike up, taking my time. We've seen Paul Espargaro do it on a couple of occasions. It's wrong. I think that rule needs to be looked at and somehow changed, because there's too many loopholes there for my liking. I didn't enjoy it. A note I made was Aprilia's teamwork. Aleix Espargaro and Maverick Vinales are doing the perfect job when it comes to teamwork in the FP sessions, FP1, FP2, FP3. In FP3, they were out on track at just about every lap together, giving each other a tow. 1 minute it was Aleix out front, then it was Maverick, swapping the roles. Makes sense. Help get each other into Q1, into qualifying, and then on race day, it's every man for himself. But teamwork is what I was really impressed with by Aprilia. No other team was doing that. Not the KTM with Brad and Miguel, not VR46 with Begzeki and Marini. No other team was doing it. Not Ducati with Miller and Bagnaia. Aprilia were doing it, and it worked because both their riders are up there and both their riders are made it into Q1. So that's something that I noted and I thought was very interesting. Talking about Darryn Binder, he's struggling qualifying, struggling with stability of the bike. I could see coming into the Foss corners, the bike is very unsettled and he's struggling to get the bike, turned more direct, having to make corners longer than he actually wants to because of the stability of the bike. So working on that, still learning the track, says it's very difficult. But I took a lot of positives out of qualifying. Yes, the position wasn't good for Darren, but in the 9 laps he did in qualifying, he improved by a second, 1 full second in 9 laps. And I think that's a very good positive for Darryn Binder, who is looking to find more time. Right after qualifying for the first time this season, Brad Binder came into Darryn Binder's race truck. Was the first time he had seen the racetrack. Well, this is better than my racetrack. You've got a better couch. I love your cupboards and I love your teacups and your kettle and everything. But he came in and he said, Daz, come sit here. Bring a track map. Come sit next to me. They sat on the floor while me, Trevor, Sharon and Zan had the comfortable seats in the race room. But it was awesome to see Brad taking the time out, saying, right, Darren, I spent a little bit of time following you. Come sit here. Let's map it out. And they went corner by corner, inch by inch on that paper, going through gears, throttle position, everything. And yeah, Brad gave some valuable information there to Darren, and I could see Darren was all ears, really did take it in. So I think that's going to help Darren hopefully find 1 or 2 little aspects there. And it was spot on valuable information. I listened to it with a keen ear, and everything Brad was saying was absolutely spot on. He's so meticulous when it comes to that. And Darren's getting that way too. Let me tell you, Darren has really improved with his technical side and how meticulous he's getting with certain things, with what the traction control's doing, what the wheelie control's doing. So very impressed. It was awesome to see that and witness that proud fanboy moment, proud Uncle Rob moment, seeing that the 2 brothers in MotoGP talking through a track map like that. Loved it. One of the greatest things I've ever seen. So yeah, watch out for Darren. I think there's more coming at a good FP4. Seems to be a little bit better in race simulation than in Fast Lap. And we know that he's a racer. Hopefully he can get tagged in there and mix it with the rookies and hopefully potentially top 15. It's going to be a tough ask, but we know Darren's up for the challenge. As for Brad, one of the better qualifyings in 10th place there, still doesn't quite have the feeling, also struggling with a little bit of instability, getting the bike turned, just finishing off the corner, getting into the inside of the apex, a little bit of chatter in places, but overall, generally much better. 10th place is a really good start for Brad. FP4, he says he feels really good on the harder tires. Don't know what the tire choice is going to be yet, but he says he's got good pace, good feeling on the hard tires. So I think we're going to be in for a good Brad Binder race, potentially, hopefully challenging the top 5, maybe even a podium. But certainly a much better starting point for Brad Binder. If he does his normal last couple of races Sunday, man, and makes up 6, 7 positions, that's top 3. That's top 3. So yeah, a little bit of hope there, and yeah, Brad's looking good, feeling good. They've made a lot of changes to the bike, which he says there's good and bad areas, but it just seems to be a good weekend. Miguel's right up there as well. He's in 8th place. So let's see, Jack Miller's got a long lap penalty after his disruption in qualifying, crashed out, picked up, got in Maverick Vinales' way. So another long lap penalty there for Jack Miller. He's qualified in 6th, just ahead of Brad and Oliveira. He'll take that early. Hopefully that'll be a position for Brad, because passing the caddies is not easy, although Brad looks so good on the brakes. It is an absolute delight. It is an absolute honor watching Brad, Darren, all these riders riding their MotoGP bikes around this track. On the Friday free practice session, they come out of pit lane in the pouring rain, and by the third corner, they got their knee down, fully cranked, almost elbows down. And watching these guys at the cathedral of speed, doing what they do best, is just one of the greatest things I will ever witness in my life. It's phenomenal. And Brad Binder on the brakes into that final chicane and into the hard braking areas. Watch out for our boy. So yeah, look, Pecco Bagnaia, pole position, another pole position. I've said it before, he is the fastest man in MotoGP. He's just got to put it together, and he's got to put it together quickly, because yeah, Quartararo is running away with this. Pecco's chances in the championship all but done already. He sits 6th behind Brad in the World Championship. Another good point for Brad Binder is ahead of Enea Bastianini, who is closing on the points in the World Championship. Could potentially be 4th by the end of the weekend. That would be a great result for Brad and KTM, just to chip away at the top 4 in the championship. Fabio Quartararo, just cool as ice again, getting the job done. The man's stock is just going up. The man's stock is rising. I don't know if you all saw that video of him getting a young fan, putting him on the back of his scooter, taking him around the paddock. Valentino Rossi left 2 boots in that paddock. Very big shoes to fill. Fabio's already got his 1 foot in the 1 boot. He is taking what Valentino's left, and he's making the best out of it. He's really, really becoming a fan favorite in that paddock. Fabio is doing great things. I'm a huge fan of his riding on and off track, and yeah, he really is doing great things. So Fabio up in 2nd place. I think he's going to be the man to do it. It's going to be hard to get ahead of Pecco, no doubt about that. But Fabio just manages races so well, and he just gets the best out of that Yamaha package. Let's hope it's a bit more of a race compared to the last couple. Let's hope Bagnaia can stick it out and be right in the mix. Jorge Martin in 3rd. You'd like to think he's got the pace. I think he might. Whether he can hold it to the end, we'll have to wait and see. Bezzecchi in 4th. You know, I think he'll have good early pace and then maybe fade a bit. Aleix Espargaro in 5th. He got caught out by some yellow flags. He's also calling for a change in the yellow flags. No doubt he'll be in the mix for that top 3. Jack Miller with that long lap penalty. He's in 6th. Zarco, watch out for Zarco. He's been slow, steady, consistent. Sits 3rd in the World Championship, top 2 caddy. And then Miguel, Alex Rins, Brad, Maverick Vinales, and Taka Nakagami are your top 12 riders. So let's see what happens there. More notes from the paddock today. Alex Marquez, I think, look out for an announcement tomorrow at the track that Alex Marquez will sign for Gresini. Why I say this, I saw Alex Marquez right at the end come with his manager, Emilio Alzamora, on a scooter for the first time this weekend, not wearing any LCR gear. So I think he had just come from that Ducati truck where, you know, they do the handshake signing in plain attire. So apparently word is that the announcement will be made tomorrow, Sunday, Assen MotoGP, Alex Marquez to Gresini Ducati. Let's see what happens there. That is what is going to come. So that is Paddock Talk from Assen on a Saturday. Keep a lookout on the Motor Rider World page, because as I promised, the Binder Brothers official meet and greet event on the 16th of July in South Africa at Lock, Stock and Beer, Motor Rider World. We've got 10 free tickets to give away, but we are better than that. We don't just give 10 tickets away like everyone else. You know, that's nice, but we like to give even more. So we've got some official KTM caps signed by Brad Binder, donated by the Red Bull Factory and KTM team. Big thank you to them. Some signed official team cards. Very nice. We then have an official RNF with you team cap, which I will get Darren Bender to sign tomorrow right there on the peak. Then I also have a official Yamaha cap, which I'll get Darren Bender to sign to give away as well. Unfortunately, no team cards from Darren this weekend. They didn't order enough or didn't bring at all. So I've got some Darren Bender knee sliders back in South Africa that we'll throw in the mix as well. But you got to stay tuned to the Motor Rider World Facebook page to find out how you can win. We'll post the entries and how you can win from Monday onwards. So keep a lookout. Motor Rider World is where it's at. You do not need to follow anyone else. Motor Rider World. If you're not with Motor Rider World, you're going to get left behind. Motor Rider World is for the fans, by the fans. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out the Facebook page on your chance how to win that. And just for the best MotoGP content on the entire planet, Motor Rider World, taking South African motorcycle media to the next level.